of the Ornamental iron cartridge, and it's the original Ornamental iron. They did bring out an Ornamental iron too, but I personally prefer this one. Now it has been retired, so I hadn't got it before and I quickly dashed out and got it as soon as I heard it had retired, because you're not going to be able to get it soon, and I think it's coming really quite fashionable at the moment to have this kind of ironwork kind of look on your cards, so I think that this is a really useful cartridge. So let's have a quick look at the book inside and show you the kind of cuts that it's got. So this is the book. It is a new style book, so you've got the layout in the newer style, which is handy, and the project that they've given you is actually a bag, which is really cool idea to use it that way, so that's really nice. Now I rip out all my additional pages so it makes it easier to turn, and then you've got all your explanations, etc. But now we're getting on to the actual cuts. So looking at the first page, I'll just show you what we've got on here. I was going to say I'll zoom in, but I don't think I can actually, because they're so very different, all the bits and pieces. So you've got your main element, which is obviously here, and then the second part of it, the little cut. Now it's very hard to see on this, but there is, like, you can just see in there, like that little bit there, that's slightly paler. Some of the colours are a bit more obvious than that, but those are what that second lot of bits are for. Okay, and then you've got your window, your font 1, and you've got some extra pieces there, font 2, and a shape in this case, because obviously we're on numbers, so it probably would be caps and lowercase, but we'll soon find out. Base shadow, that's for this one. Window shadow, which is for that one. And then your font shadow, which is obviously for font 1, so it's for that one. Okay, so you've got 1, 2 fonts, 3 shadows, and 2 different types of the ornamental iron, plus obviously the layer effect on the main one as well. Okay, so there we go. I think they're just such pretty detail on them. I'm going to move reasonably quickly because otherwise I think we could be here a long time. I think you can see that, you know, you've got quite a nice selection, and the detail on this. It's not as new a version of the cartridge book as some, because it hasn't got the minimum sizing on that, unless it doesn't recommend a minimum size, which I would be very surprised at with something like this. I think you're going to have to do it at least 3 or 4 inches minimum in order to get that kind of detail. And to be honest, in the past I haven't found the Cricut fantastic for kind of detailed work like this. So, but I've heard good reports about this particular cartridge in the cutting. So I think because a lot of it's quite straight, even though it's detailed, there's straight lines. So I think that's going to work fine. And I would recommend really myself is using a cardstock rather than paper, because again, the Cricut I find personally does not work so well on lighter materials, and that's where I feel, you know, the Silhouette and the Cricut really complement each other, because they really work to fill the weaknesses of the other, because the Silhouette is better than it used to be from all accounts, but it didn't used to I don't even know what that is. It didn't used to cut card terribly well, although I have found it was okay, but the Cricut is better at cutting card. It's smoother. The Silhouette, you feel, if you're not careful, it's struggling, and you want to do a couple of cuts to make sure, because it kind of really goes trying to go the card, whereas the Cricut will go like butter, you know, hot knife through butter. These are very beautiful details, aren't they? Now we've got the actual alphabets. So yeah, I think, you know, in that sense I would generally, if I'm wanting to use card, I will head for my Cricut, and if I'm wanting to use paper, I will head to my Silhouette, as a rule of thumb. And then also with more detailed cuts, if I'm going to do them smaller, I would head to my Silhouette. However, that said, I searched high and low on the Silhouette store for cuts like these iron gates and things, and there were a couple, but there weren't the variety, and I didn't really find exactly what I was looking for. So I'm sure they're there, I just couldn't find, you know, particularly what I was looking for, which is like ironwork windows, etc. And there's all different styles here, which was what I wanted, that options really. The only thing I do find annoying is when you buy a cartridge like this and then you have all these that are blanked out, they've not been made use of. I think that's a bit naughty really. I think they should fill those in with something else, because you're paying a full cartridge price for this. So it should be a full cartridge in my opinion. So I think that's a little disappointing. On the other hand, you have got 2 images, 2 fonts and 3 shadows, so I guess you're getting a reasonable, you know, you're getting quite a lot. But nevertheless, I do think it's a shame when these are left blank. I just think it's a bit wasteful really, and you, again, as I say, you're paying for the full cartridge and you're not really getting necessarily what you might have expected. But as you can see, although it says, you know, it's sort of, you might think, oh, it's just gates and windows or whatever, there's a lot of stuff that would just be lovely accents on your cards, and you could just use it like that. And some of these, I think I'm going to try and use one of these I'm going to find for a Christmas card actually, because I think this will be quite fun for a Christmas card, kind of looking over a fence, or maybe, I don't know, there was one back here that looked like a bedstead. I can find it. This one looks like the top of a bed, so you could use that, you know, and hang stockings off it or something. I think that would be quite cool. So something like that would be fun. Anyway, and then you've got like a fleur-de-lis kind of one there, and lovely border, and you can repeat that and repeat that if you've got your gypsy, or use your Cricut craft room. I just hope that they make Cricut Craft Room available, and the same for the Silhouette software actually, available on iPads soon, because I think that would be really cool. I think they have to go that way. I know Silhouette, I emailed them and they did say that that is something they're working on, and they hope to have that done soonish, you know. I mean, I don't imagine it's going to be in the next month or so, but I would expect it to be within the next year or year and a half, that is something that is available to the Silhouette users, that the software can be used on your iPad or tablet. And you know, clearly that then makes it effectively a portable software studio. You know, it's not much, in some ways it's easier to take your iPad around than your Gypsy, because it's thinner, it's slimmer, and you've got everything else on there as well. And obviously with the Silhouette software, because it's a downloadable software, unless you actually need to connect to the internet, because you want to download a image, you're not going to need to be connected to the internet. I don't have internet access on my iPad, you know, through 3G. I only have it through the Wi-Fi. So a lot of the times if I'm out and about, unless I go in somewhere that has the free Wi-Fi, then I don't get internet on my iPad. Well, that's not going to be a problem with the Silhouette software if it continues in the same format, because once you've downloaded your images, you can work with them without any connection to the internet, and that would be really good, I think, to be able to work on that. And these are like chess pieces, so I'm hoping that will happen soon. Cricut kind of were more vague. I spoke to them on the phone in Utah, and the impression I got is it's not something they're working on. They're really focusing on Cricut Craft Room, which obviously isn't portable in the sense that you can only use it on a PC or Mac, but it's not, I mean, I guess you can get small computers or whatever, but it's not in the same, obviously, format as a tablet. But the reasoning, I think, and the impression I give is they're still in production with their Gypsies, and that is their portable design method. And therefore, if they make Cricut Craft Room able to be more portable through using it on tablets, then people are not going to buy the Gypsy as much, at least I would suggest. So, and especially because the Craft Room is much more powerful. However, there would be slightly less easy to access the Cricut Craft Room on an iPad if you don't have 3G and you're out and about, because you do currently, under its current format, need the internet in order to design, because all the images are not stored on your kind of computer in any way. They are stored on Cricut, and then once you connect it, you then are able to confirm that you own that particular image. So I think it's more complex in that sense. Obviously the reasoning behind that is because the images of the Imagine are so huge. In order for you to have them on your computer, you just wouldn't have any space left. It would be impractical. So they're using the size of the servers to be able to do that. But I still, fingers crossed, hope that will happen, because I just think if they could get it to work, it will. And I would have thought myself that at some point, you know, the Gypsy, I think, is not long, you know, maybe 4 or 5 years, and it's going to be very out of date technology. It's going to be bulky, it's going to be out of date. I mean, the Imagine section of it is already out of date, and there's no way they can update it. It's far behind that of the Cricut Craft Room. So, you know, I think they're already starting from behind in that regard. I can't see the demand continuing for, you know, over the 5 years myself, but you know, we will see. I hope you had a good look at this and enjoyed it. I didn't really talk about all the cuts. I mean, there's not a lot you can say about these sorts of cuts. I mean, they're all different, but they're all similar themes, so I couldn't really, you know, go through each one and say, oh, that's that shape, and that's another twirly one, and that's a straight twirly one. But I think you can see it's a really nice cart, and it's got lots of interesting images that I think could be used in quite different ways, like backgrounds, actual image itself, like I said, for like maybe the Santa sack hanging off the edge. So I think it's a nice cart, and I'm glad that I got it. I didn't realise it was retiring, so I'm really glad that I managed to get hold of it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed having a look at this with me, and love to hear your comments on this and anything that I've been saying, really. Any opinions on this tablet Cricut software and Silhouette software, anything you have to say on that. I'd love to hear what your views are as well. Okay, so hope to see you all again soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.